your ginger here.
Okay, put there lah.
What? Is it really heavy? Hello everybody, my name is Paddy. I'm a librarian with the National Library Board and you are watching From Book to Cook, the cooking show where we learn about Singapore's history through food. In today's episode, we will be exploring a local favorite, Nasi Lemak. What's so special about this recipe? Join me and our special guest today to find out. Hello Toffa.
Hi, Paddy.
Hello, thank you for coming on here. You are an associate librarian with the National Library, focusing on the Singapore and Southeast Asia collection, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, so and you're also a food researcher, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I mean, previously I was doing research in food history.
I see.
Yeah.
So how did this interest in researching food history came about?
It actually began when I was in final year of university. Yeah, and I did a thesis on belacan, which is fermented shrimp paste. I had a really huge craving for laksa. So I was like, okay, why don't I learn more about laksa? So I just thought about all the different ingredients in laksa, and belacan was something that I wanted to know more about. Yeah.
So you came across this book, Memilih, Selera, and it's written by...
It's written by this lady called Siti Radiah binti Muhammad Saleh. Memilih Selera, if you translate it, it means choosing appetites or choosing taste.
Okay.
It was published in 1953. Yeah, so Siti Radiah had been writing books from the late 1940s after World War II ended. So when she came to Singapore with her husband, she had already written 2 books by the end of 1950. So Memilih Selera was something that was focused on dishes.
Did she write all these recipes herself?
Her modus operandi in a way was to basically ask people. So she really wanted to gather all this knowledge from women of everywhere in Singapore. So she wrote in her preface that she actually got several of these recipes from Indonesian women who were living in Singapore. Working in the publishing industry and writing industry, publishers were usually in Kampong Glam. So Kampong Glam had publishing houses.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing she might have met these women there.
Was Siti Radiah part of that world as well? The publishing world?
She was an author of cookbooks. But her husband actually was very much involved in the publishing and writing industry.
Her husband's name was?
Harun Aminurrashid. Even before the war, he had already written novels. He was also an educator, a teacher. So he was involved in writing textbooks. He also wrote travelogues later on. And yeah, he was a very prominent editor.
What was her intention when she created all these cookbooks?
For her as an author of cookbooks, publishing and writing in Singapore itself was interesting to me. Yeah, and it was, I mean, it's not an easy job to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had 15 children, so she had to juggle being a mother as well as trying to gather all these recipes, compile recipes from people. And I think what I really liked about her was that she was very big on women's progress. She saw it as a responsibility and a service to the community to spread this information, to disseminate it in the form of books. Yeah.
And were these books written in Romanized Malay or in Jawi?
They were all written in Jawi actually, Jawi
okay.
script. I learned Jawi when I was in primary school, when I was taking weekly Sunday classes at the madrasah. I enjoy reading books in Jawi. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of information in there, especially in the early 20th century, that are written in Jawi. So I think it's important that people continue to read Jawi and know Jawi, so that all this information from the past do not just get sidelined.
And I'm sure as a librarian with the Singaporean and Southeast Asian collections, learning how to read and write Jawi is very helpful.
Yeah, actually it's very helpful.
What drew you to that recipe from that book?
Okay, so I was reading the recipe, right? I mean, it's in Jawi, so I read it. And I was like, it says Nasi Lemak berkukus.
Okay.
And as I read it, I was like, is this really Nasi Lemak?
What does berkukus mean?
Berkukus means steamed. Yeah. So it's steamed nasi lemak with its accompaniment. So that's the whole title of the recipe. It was a very long recipe. And turns out that it was not just for the rice itself, the coconut rice. It was for side dishes to the rice.
Wow.
The interesting thing that stood out to me was that the nasi lemak was not cooked with pandan, which is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But this nasi lemak uses bay leaf or lemongrass. Yeah.
That is, I've not heard of nasi lemak made with either of those
Yeah,
herbs.
she mentioned that, okay, this nasi lemak that we are making in this recipe can be eaten with, the typical nasi lemak accompaniments that we know today. But she also said that, she also wrote that you can eat this with opor ayam, which is like a chicken cooked in coconut milk and spices.
Ah, okay.
And sambal goreng, which I've never had with nasi lemak before. So that was what stood out to me.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was reading Nasi Lemak Berkukus, right?
Yep.
I was like, is this nasi lemak? So I had to check with like my mom and an older relative and also one of my cousins just to check whether I read that it is nasi lemak.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, this is nasi lemak. But the recipe is like weird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought the ingredients for us to make Siti Radiah's version today. You sort of like did a trial before we started. Was it a challenge to create this dish?
Okay, so I've never before this steamed rice before, and I wasn't sure also like how much santan to use or coconut milk to use. So I kind of had to experiment it. And my first trial, when I did the nasi lemak, it took me about 1.5 hours just to cook rice.
Okay, well, I'm here to help you today
Okay.
with that. We can go to the kitchen now and create Siti Radiah's nasi lemak.
All right, yeah.
You want to join me? Come, let's go.
Yeah.
Now, I understand there are 3 main components. First, we have to do the rice itself. And then the other 2 accompanying dishes, what are they again?
The opor ayam
Opor ayam,
and the sambal goreng.
sambal goreng. Brilliant.
So this is Thai rice. We also have the coconut.
Yes.
So for Radiah's recipe, she said that you can either use bay leaf or lemongrass. And if you choose to use both, it's also okay.
Was there a reason why these specific herbs were chosen, you think?
I mean, they're aromatics, right? And it's also her learning from perhaps the Indonesian women that she talked to for her book. And they were using bay leaf and lemongrass. So we're using actually one whole coconut that's been grated. Yeah, the first extraction is usually is what we call the first squeeze or the pati santan, the cream, the most thick cream, right? And then the subsequent squeezes are more diluted lah.
What's the method to extract the cream from the coconut?
Okay, so traditionally people would use their hands. You just put a bit of some liquid in it and just squeeze it out, right? But it's a bit messy, I tried it, so and it's time consuming for me at least.
Just your hands, one handful
once
at a time.
in a while do a bit rusty, right?
Yeah.
So I got a coconut bag.
I see. How much water are we talking about?
We go by 300 ml.
Okay.
So you just have to put it in the bag.
Okay.
And you just mix it around.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can start
So let's go into it?
Yes.
Go okay. Okay. Like this.
Then
Yep.
you tighten the
Oh, it's
bag.
even got a drawstring.
Yep.
That's handy.
And you just squeeze out.
Oh, the cream's already coming out?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Is there a technique to squeezing?
No, it's just like wringing
Really?
laundry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, I'll do this, wringing it. Oh. Squeeze. Oh, okay. Well, this is
Okay.
tough. My bad.
Okay, so let's see. So this is the first squeeze. Okay, so just now you put about 300 ml, right? So we
Yep.
actually got about 500 ml. So that's a lot.
Oh. You need a lot of strength in the kitchen
Yeah, I think
to make all this.
I think kitchen work uses a lot of strength
it's
in the
physically
past.
toiling, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm following Radiah's recipe.
Yes.
In which the nasi lemak is cooked at 2 stages.
Okay.
The first using thin coconut milk, and then subsequently using thick coconut milk. Unlike cookbooks today, right? where you have all the measurements given to you. In the past, some cookbooks did not have that format. It was more like estimates.
Yes.
Or sometimes they would totally leave it out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So we've got the steamer here. Yeah, we can just bring it over.
Okay, so this is actually my grandmother's.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's quite old.
Be
You will be
colorful.
cooking it with the tin coconut milk first,
Okay.
and then half of this amount. So after that,
Ah, okay, the aromatics.
yeah, so the
yes.
aromatics, okay, like I said earlier, you can use the bay leaf,
Okay.
the lemongrass, or both, or if you want to be conventional about it, you can use pandan. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So you just put that in. Alright, so now we will prepare the rempah
Yes.
for the opor.
Okay, so the more fibrous things first.
Wow, can't believe managed to find a batu giling.
This looks so much harder than using this, doesn't it?
This is easier. The recipe actually uses a batu giling.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So we're staying true to the recipe today by
Yeah,
using a
I mean we can, instead of using a blender as a shortcut, we can actually use the batu lasong,
Right,
which
right.
I'm more familiar with lah. When people made asam pedas,
Yes.
they would actually use batu giling because you would need a very fine paste to make a good asam pedas. Yeah.
It's such a Singaporean thing. You're walking in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a very distinct sound as
Yeah.
well. And frequency.
Yeah. You've got a lot more of. It's less coarse than mine. Mine just looks like
Yeah.
just like finely chopped it or something. Your ginger here.
Okay. Put there lah.
What?
Don't give me anymore.
Sure, yes.
Oh,
Aduh.
I realized that my eyes are watering from this.
Oh yeah.
But when I do this at home with the batu lasong, my eyes don't water. Okay, so we just should combine it though, so that it's all one paste. Like I've never cooked Malay food from a
Recipe book.
a recipe
It's always
book.
been passed down.
Yeah, it's always been passed down, estimations. So this is actually the first Malay recipe that I've cooked from a cookbook. So once the oil is hot, we can add that in. Okay, so this lemongrass, we're just gonna put a whole stalk in. Smells good, right? Yeah, and then you can add the chicken in. Just gonna add the
All right,
chicken.
no chickens.
All right. Okay, so earlier we already had the third squeeze, right? For
Yes.
the nasi lemak and half of this amount. So this other half goes into the opor.
Ah, okay.
Alright. And then this is the first squeeze.
Yep.
So just leave 150 ml for the nasi lemak. Just as long as the chicken a bit more is submerged.
Okay,
And
can.
put the lid on so the chicken cooks properly.
Sure. Give you a bit more space. It's really heavy.
Next component is the sambal goreng.
Sambal
okay,
goreng.
Just a bit of disclaimer about this sambal goreng, right?
Okay.
It's a very, very simple dish, the one that Radiah has in her book. Because sambal goreng is a very popular dish amongst the Malay community. And usually sambal goreng has prawns, tofu, tempeh, and green beans or French beans. But for her version, she uses only meat, beef, and tofu. And it's also very simple because it only has 2 ingredients.
Just 2?
Apart from the spices.
Ah.
So sambal goreng, like nasi lemak, is very flexible. You can put anything you want in your sambal goreng.
Over here. Okay, here we go. Second. Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, just to check that there's still some liquid.
And you're
So
adding
now-
the last bit of coconut cream milk. Oh, sorry.
Okay, can
Okay,
transfer
I can
it back.
I'll put it back.
Another 15 minutes, then
Another
we check
15?
it again. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So for the sambal goreng, we are just using normal cooking oil.
That's
That's a lot of oil.
That's a lot of oil. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
about to say.
Yeah, sambal goreng involves a lot of frying. Can get very oily at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Careful, ah.
Yeah, don't worry.
You can move that a bit. In
Sure,
case
sure.
It splatters on
I'll give you space.
So it's really fast.
It's nice and brown now.
Yeah. I'm just
Smells
gonna use a
good.
drainer.
Okay.
Oh, it's not splattering.
Okay, tahu nice, coming nice.
Yeah. The nasi lemak, I was very surprised when I read this recipe because I had no idea that sambal goreng can be made without santan. Because all the sambal goreng I've eaten since I was young has always used santan.
A key ingredient.
Yeah. I don't think you would make this on a weekday, for example.
Why not?
Because it's too much work,
Yeah.
too many different dishes. So it could be something that's eaten on a special occasion, like a kenduri or a celebration. Okay, gonna take the tofu out. Just need to slice the final item.
Oh, what was it? What did I miss out? Crab. Which one?
What did you miss out?
The tamari, the belacan?
No, I don't.
No, the ginger. I got the ginger in there.
Nope.
The asam?
Nope.
Final item? Lemongrass.
Yeah.
Alamak. So forgot about it.
So the tamarind is about, depends on how sour you want it to be. But you want it to be balanced. So you have the spicy, you have the salty, you have the sweet because we are adding sugar as well. And you want the sour. We need to saute the onion, garlic and ginger and lemongrass first, not the chili.
Chili
Yeah.
for last.
I started to uncover that there's a lot to learn about food.
Yeah.
Not only through cooking. Of course, cooking is a very, very primary method of learning about food.
Yeah.
But you can also read about food. You can look at primary sources like newspapers, oral history. For me, it's like just uncovering stories
Yeah.
about cooking from people. Okay, so you can smell the
Yep.
aroma, right? And you
Yes,
can
it
add
smells
the
good.
chili.
Yeah.
When I was researching about Siti Radiah, I was really interested in who she was and what her life was. So it's not known when she was born, but the fact that she studied in Selangor as a student and then later became a teacher at one of the Malay schools there, I think it's safe to say that she was born around the area. Yeah. Okay, so we've added the pre-fried tofu and the beef. So we're just pushing it together. So
Making me really happy looking at this. You can smell the belacan.
yeah. Okay, we're done actually.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I can't wait to eat this.
Speechless.
I'm very happy.
Oh yay!
Okay.
I think Siti Radiah will be very happy.
Yeah. Let's get this all on a plate. I can't wait to eat this. So excited.
Okay, I'm just gonna add a bit of everything lah. Okay, bon appetit.
Yes. I'll try the rice first again.
Yeah, try it on its own.
It's actually quite not a very heavy kind of lemak, but it's there. It's the fragrance of the coconut in there.
Yeah. So is this nasi lemak to you? After you've tried a bit of everything.
If you serve this to someone, right, and let's say you don't show the chili. The chili is a big giveaway for nasi lemak, but I wouldn't think that this is nasi lemak.
Yeah.
Not in
I
the
wouldn't-
way that we know of today, right? So then what makes it a nasi lemak?
Essentially, nasi lemak is coconut rice. And I know some people are very by the book, okay, it has to have pandan. I found a few recipes by home cooks and cooking enthusiasts online in which they actually did not use pandan. They used bay leaf or lemongrass,
Okay.
like the recipe today, and yet they still call it nasi lemak. There were trolls in the comment section saying that this is not nasi lemak. There's nasi lemak has to have pandan, and some people are very overly critical about the dish that was being shown in the videos. Yeah, but some people, defended, saying that nasi lemak can be anything that you add to it. The main ingredient is coconut rice, meaning the santan and the rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the clue is in the name, isn't it?
Yeah, nasi and lemak,
lemak.
which is the coconut.
It's not nasi lemak pandan. For
Yeah,
example.
I mean you can make it specific.
Yeah.
Nasi lemak pandan. So when I first tried the opor, because it looks so bland and unassuming with its color, which is almost white rice, like beige, I was actually surprised by how flavorful it was. Just from simple spices like coriander seeds, candle nut. Yeah, so candle nut actually thickens the dish.
I had a lot of fun making with you today.
I did too.
I always felt a little bit intimidated because there's no precise recipe, and the ingredients all seem like so much and there's so much prep to do and everything.
Maybe one day you can try cooking from a 1950s cookbook as well.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll just try that. But has this experience today, cooking this, given you a little bit more of a push to try cooking your own Malay food?
Yeah, definitely. It's always important to understand what you grow up with. It's always good to know like how it's made, but you also want to be able to recreate something that you have eaten in the past. Yeah, which could be a family recipe, like your mother learnt it from her mother, who then learnt it from her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of this episode. Thank you for joining us as we learned about Siti Radiah's unique Nasi Lemak. And thank you, Toffa, for giving us your valuable insights. I'm Paddy, and this is From Book to Cook. Terima kasih dan jumpa lagi.